let's see, what time is it? To call the meeting to order at, what time is it?
7:02.
7:02. Thank you. And first thing on the agenda is acceptance of the secretary's report. I got a motion.
Make a motion to accept the report.
Is anybody second?
Seconded.
Okay. Scott. Any discussion on the secretary's report?
Nope.
Okay. Excuse me. All right. If there's no discussion, excuse me, take a vote. Excuse me, Paul. Paul, can you hear us?
I got you.
All right. Jeff?
Aye.
Yep. Chris?
Aye.
Laura?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Amy?
Aye.
And Adam?
Aye.
All right. Next is acceptance of the monthly staff reports. Motion.
So moved.
All right. Somebody second it?
Second.
Okay. Amy second it. All right. Any discussion?
Catherine, has our elevator ever failed before?
Yes, it occasionally does fail. Everyone is failing this time because there's a new standard, and apparently no one has this new standard. So it's got something to do with the fire department being able to open and close the door a certain way, so that every elevator is failing to meet that standard. So everybody's on the list to have it fixed.
When you say everyone, do you mean libraries in general or all?
Libraries in general, but I think it's beyond libraries. I think this is, kind of universal, and people don't have this in older elevators. I think it's a newer function.
How old is that elevator? From the addition? Is that when it went in?
Do you know, Tim, was that new at the addition?
Which one? Which elevator are we talking about? The
elevator for the public.
That went in. No, that was that was installed at the renovation. So what's that? 22 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do both elevators get inspected at the same time, Catherine? Do you know?
Every other year, they're all inspected, and then the public one is inspected every year.
Right. Okay.
So this year it was everything was inspected, including, I don't know if everybody knows, there's a handicap elevator that goes to the red room. And
yeah,
that lift basically.
That lift that gets inspected too.
Every 5 years, right?
No, that's every 2. That's part of
two. That must be a change.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem to add anything to the price, actually.
No.
The price of the inspection?
Yeah.
How much is the inspection?
I don't know this year. I'm going to have to look at all those numbers. It's significant because you have to have tradespeople in.
I was going to say, that was my question.
Yeah, the elevator people come. Sometimes there's an electrician. The company that does the alarm system, they sometimes come. So I want to say it's $3,000 or $4,000.
Wow.
Well, that's
and the reinspection.
That'll be less, but the repair could be significant. Somebody told me they thought the repair was $3,500.
Well, the way you started, I thought you would say 35,000.
I did. 3,500 sounded better.
Oh, yeah, I know.
No, just FYI, that number that Catherine quotes is the cost of everybody, but there's also a permit fee. I mean, an inspection fee from the state. I think it's around $400 just for the permit, the inspection fee.
Yeah.
Usually the company pays it, and we just pay it through the bill. So,
Yeah,
but it's not, none of it's cheap.
No, I budget $3,000 for it, and I don't have the breakdown in front of me of what that, I know what it is every year. And that typically covers it. This year it's going to be a little bit more.
Catherine, I had a question. Well, we could probably take that up, and well, I'm curious. I can ask a question now about Sunday hours. When do they begin this year?
The first weekend's sort of a holiday. The holiday, I want to say it's the 9th. Let me find out.
Okay, all right. I wasn't sure if it was
the 9th. The 9th.
All right, so 1/9 is the first Sunday. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Catherine, one thing that came up repeatedly in the staff reports this month was the notes about patron behaviors and excessive time spent dealing with patron behaviors. Are there any specifics that you want to share with us? I'm going to venture, I guess some of it might be related to masking and all that, but what should we be aware of, and what can we do?
It's not really masking.
Oh, great, something new. Great.
No, I would say it's a little bit more unusual things that happen from time to time. And from what I hear from other directors, we're seeing a lot of mental health issues and social issues, probably on the back of the pandemic. So we've had a few things where we've had some no trespassing.
Did we have one of those today by chance?
No trespassing. We didn't today, did we? It could have been something.
It's funny. I kind of walked through a conversation with the law enforcement on the front lawn or on the little side patio today, chatting with some people outside. Oh,
well, our police have a really good relationship with people. Yeah. And so they often just come by just to check up. And that won't even be that we've called or needed help or anything. Jackie and I were in the office much of today. I was on calls and meetings and things, so I wasn't wandering around to see that. But
I just happened to be downtown and popped in, and just as I saw the activity on the side lawn, Tony was getting chatted up and escorted off the grounds, it looked like.
Oh, well, that's interesting. I didn't hear that story, but I could ask around about that. But everything's in good shape. It's been relatively routine.
Good.
Things that we've just followed our procedure and it's worked.
Have we noticed any increase or decrease in mask issues? Just about the same, you think?
Yeah, probably about the same. Yeah.
I'm
not hearing anything from the staff, and I haven't encountered anything myself, but I haven't been on the floor a lot. We were with the sign people yesterday. I didn't notice anybody. I don't always notice it anymore.
Okay.
But yeah, see, I haven't heard anything negative from the staff, so I'm assuming it's about the same.
All right.
Catherine, you made a note about excess furniture and needing a place to put it. Is there a lot of stuff we have, or is it?
We're probably getting to a point where there could be a lot of things. The needs, especially in the youth room, the needs have changed. The way that children studied and used carols, they don't do that anymore. And the children in the youth room don't use the computers at all. And it's probably because they have Chromebooks at school. So, we did notice that there were 2 carols where we would like to put soft seating. We now have graphic novels that we didn't have before. And Casey had said, if there was soft seating there, you would see the graphic novels. Now there's sort of a barrier to them with the carols. The thing is that there's no place to put the carols, and they're beautiful pieces of furniture. So it's going to become a topic.
We don't have any storage facility space anywhere, right? Like there's no.
No, we have the balcony, which is really
Oh,
not meant for furniture storage.
right.
And your first instinct is to use it for something. We have two that we combined as a single unit, and we use it for microfilm, to put the microfilm machine on. So we were able to convert it and use it as something else, because they are beautiful pieces, but there's more of them than we need now. So that's going to be an issue at some point.
Okay. They hold cheese and crackers well for blossoms. So.
They do, yeah. And we'll always have a need for some.
Yeah.
The ones that are on the top level in nonfiction, those get a lot of use because it's quiet there and it's, you're enclosed. So I think people really like those spaces, but they're just not being used in the youth room.
Is there a possibility they could be utilized somewhere else in town outside the library?
Those are the things that we're going to have to look at, whether or not there is another use. They match our woodwork and everything. They were built to be part of the building. So something to think about. So I just thought I would throw it out there that, I didn't want anyone to be shocked when that comes up at some point, because within the next year or two, I think it'll be something that we'll be talking about.
Okay. All right, anything else on staff reports, folks? Okay, take a vote to accept the staff reports. Paul?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Laura?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Amy?
Aye.
And Adam? Aye. And I'm an aye. Okay. I don't think we have any public participation that I know of.
Doesn't look like it.
No. The only correspondence, I don't know if Catherine, you're considering it correspondence, was the proposed legislation and the letter from Noble.
Yeah, that's not really correspondence. I just
Okay.
included that so you would be aware of that legislation. And that was really part of my report.
Okay, all right, so no correspondence. All right, so committee reports. We have budget, which we'll be discussing later in the meeting, unless somebody wants to discuss current budget.
Yeah, there was one line item. It looks like the HVAC line, we're already spent. We're only halfway through the year. Is there any concerns there, Catherine?
Maybe. It's hard to know. I see. Now, if we had this meeting yesterday, I would have said no. But today, I had no heat in my office. And that's a relatively small fix, apparently. But we are having more. It's an aging system, and a lot happened this year. So I think much of what was expended was actually on air conditioning, failures in different parts of the air conditioning. So, the budget only goes so far for you're not anticipating those big expenses or a lot of them. But maybe we have to now.
How old is the current system?
Yeah, how old is it?
How old is the systems?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're from the renovation.
Yeah, they are.
They were new at the renovation.
Yeah, all the mechanicals in the building and were of that era. Excuse me.
So that's late 90s.
Actually, I think there was one, there's one AC unit on the roof. a condensing unit that was prior to the renovations, I believe. Yes, I think there was. But other than that, everything was, everything is relatively new.
Relatively new. Yeah.
22 years. So now things are coming of age.
Yeah. They are.
You know, Catherine, I'm just going to throw this out there. There was some of the COVID funds are going to municipalities, and they're doing some work on mechanical systems with it. It just occurred to me, we might want to look to see if any of that's going to be potentially available, because what they're classifying it is, you know, making sure that buildings are well ventilated and they're working properly, that those systems are changing air on a regular basis. Right. It's mostly applicable to schools, but right. There may be a question out there, maybe for the Board of Library Commissioners, that office, maybe they know about some funding that might be available. It just occurred to me just now.
Okay, I'll look into that. I'll ask DPW about that too, if he knows anything about that.
Yeah. Okay, something I heard about recently. Anything else on the current budget? Okay, how about Friends? Who attended Friends?
I did Friends.
Thank you.
So I'm looking at my notes here. They are looking at updating. Oh, wait, no, that was our net. I had to update them on our meeting. Their meeting, they went over their financials. They're talking about revising their financial report to make it more user-friendly and accurate and pertinent. So they kind of went line by line. It was a long budget discussion, talking about just reworking how they do that report. Possibly looking at hiring a new CPA for their taxes, doing some more sales blasts for Honey, Amazon's files. This is the Friends 50th anniversary coming up this year. So they're talking about
really?
So they're doing a big campaign to throwing out ideas like get 50 new members, sell 50 jars of honey, just sort of a big 50th campaign, and maybe tying it in with the library doing their 100th of the building campaign, if we're doing a campaign. Catherine put in her request for the 2022 funds for programs, which I guess they discuss now until the next, right? You didn't get a response on that?
No, they vote in January.
Okay. And then they're doing they did a book collection for their book sale a few weeks ago. And they're doing a few more January 15th and February 5th. So if you guys have books piled up and didn't make the one in, I think it was late November, there are 2 more coming up.
Amy, say those 2 dates again.
January 15th and February 5th.
They can do it at the Hurd School.
I don't think they said where. I would imagine so. Yeah, because that's where they're storing books.
Okay.
Yeah. So they haven't been publicly advertised yet. I imagine what they just did before, the Genius sign up Genius sheets. So, and they filled up all the spots. I had friends messaging me, seeing if I had a way to sneak in their books for them because they couldn't get spots. So.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Friends? That's it. Okay.
That was it.
Anything on gift funds? No progress. Is there any movement on that? The donation that we heard about last month?
No, I haven't heard anything. And I sent a question to the attorney too, and he never answered it. So I might call him. The other thing about gift funds is that Susan and Scott signed on to take care of Fidelity. Mm-hmm. And I sent all that paperwork, and found out today, because there was no action on it, and I kept getting in touch with them. They told me today it's the wrong form. So the form that they sent me is not a form that is online, and it's not one of their options. And it's not the same form that we've ever used before, but it's a new form. And the new form requires all the same information, except it will also require Tim to sign it. And Tim's signature will have to be notarized.
Oh, great.
So we'll just have to wait until Susan comes back.
So it's a harder form, is what you're saying.
I don't know. It's because it's a business, an unincorporated business, apparently. That's what they want to call it. Okay. So you can't really talk to people. They do it through this messaging system. So we're getting closer, but it's been months. It's really, I don't know. We're going to get it done, and then somebody's not going to run again. Start all over.
Okay. Well, just let me know, Catherine, and then
yeah. I will. I'll let you know well in advance.
Who's our notary in library right now? Just curious.
Does everybody in reference notarize now?
No, but there are 5, 6 total.
Oh, okay.
So
I just always went to Jeff, so I didn't know.
Yeah, can you still notarize, Jackie?
No, mine expired.
Yeah, I think I have till next year, but I haven't done it in a while, but I have till next year. But there are a few people, so we should be okay.
Okay. All right. Anything on legislative advocacy? Advocacy. Sorry. Nothing. Okay.
And do you know? Do you think that bill is going to pass? I don't know. Can you maybe give a little bit more background of what? So it's trying to say that you can buy ebooks and audiobooks at the same price as the general public.
Yes, and even that we're offered everything that the general public is offered. Sometimes I think we're not even offered those things. Jackie manages that collection, so she knows better than I do. But part of the collecting that's so difficult is that all of the publishers have different programs that they use. So you might only have 25 circulations, and they're very expensive. I think people think it's an ebook. Everybody can read it at the same time, which you can't. If someone checks it out, you don't have access to it, which is crazy because it's digital. There are a lot of limits to libraries, and it's outrageously expensive. So I think they just want to kind of level the playing field. You're muted.
Does anybody know? Do you guys know what the status of that legislation is? Is it just being proposed, or?
Yeah, it's. I think is it in committee? I think it might be in committee.
Okay.
I'll get more information, I'm sure, in January.
Okay. We have personnel, but I would dare say the topic for tonight is director's evaluation. So unless there's anything else in personnel.
No.
Okay, well, that's our next order of business is directors. Catherine's evaluation is due this coming calendar year, which sometime in March, is it that actually happens?
January to March.
Yeah, okay. So in your packets, you received a copy of the evaluation forms and the guidance on filling them out. They don't have to be done right now. they have to be done after Catherine provides us with some information, which she'll probably do at the next meeting. Is that, or you'll do it before that, Catherine?
I don't know. What's the information that you need?
Well, you're supposed to give us what your proposed new goals are, a few other things, I think.
Oh, all right. I thought that happened at the evaluation itself, but you want that ahead of time?
Well, I was just reading the guidance, and
Okay.
I might be wrong.
Maybe I didn't read it.
Oh, that's what I read too, Tim, was
Okay.
Yeah.
like by the first personnel subcommittee meeting, the director submits goals and a self-eval. Is that sound
Yeah,
right?
that's what I thought.
Oh, okay. By December 31st, I'm going to do this. I
Right.
didn't read the other side. Okay.
Yeah, so you're supposed to provide us with, you know, your goals for the next
Okay.
evaluation period.
Okay.
And, you know, you're supposed to do a self-evaluation,
Yeah.
and then we provide that. I don't know if the self-evaluation is that you don't necessarily use the form. I might be just a narrative.
Okay.
And then that has to get submitted to the personnel committee.
Okay.
Can I ask a silly question? Does you guys know who's on the personnel committee?
I do. I looked it up.
Thank you.
You,
I believe
Susan,
Susan
Chris,
Yep.
Chris and Susan.
And Amy,
and
and
Amy.
me and you.
And who's the chair?
you are, Tim.
I am?
I think so.
Okay. So there's 4 of us on that committee?
Yeah. Remember those labor meetings we had in the summer?
Yeah. Now it's all coming back to me. Thank you, Amy. I just realized it. Yeah, I didn't know if, yeah, I guess you're right. Okay.
I'm not positive you chose a chair of that committee. Now that I'm
Well,
looking at it, I don't think you chose a chair. You just picked the committee.
Well, there's gonna have to be a meeting. Maybe we can vote a chair.
Do we need to have a meeting before December 31st or no?
No,
No.
no.
Because I'm not here. So
Why don't at this
Do we
point,
need to
why don't we
publish
just
that
have-
meeting?
Say
Yes.
that again, Chris. Chris?
Do we need to
Sorry.
publish that?
Well, yeah, if we have a personnel committee meeting, we'll have to post it. Yes. Well, what I was going to say is, why don't we have Catherine submit whatever she's going to have to me, and then I'll poll us to do a meeting, and we'll pick a date, and then do it sometime in January. I don't think it's time. It doesn't necessarily have to be. It might have to be before the January meeting, now that I think about it. So we might have to have it prior to that January meeting. Okay.
is that on the 18th? Does anybody have the January meeting date? Andy?
I forget, actually. Let me see.
January meeting is the 26th.
Yeah, it's late.
That other piece says that we deliver to the January meeting to the other trustees, no? So you would think the evaluation would have to be after that.
Right. Yeah, the evaluation doesn't take prior to January. It's just we deliver it to all the trustees get that information.
That's in closed session, right?
There won't be any discussion. No,
Yeah.
it's just in regular session.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just regular session. So yeah, before the January meeting, we may have to meet before the 26th. So, but if that's okay, I'll just get that from Catherine, and then I'll poll the 4 of us and figure out when we can do it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All
Is
right.
it just the personnel committee that needs to fill out all those forms, or do we?
Every trustee will fill out the evaluation forms. Then what the personnel committee is supposed to do is compile all the evaluations and kind of come up with one evaluation, you know what I mean? So supposed to compile the numbers and any of the comments and try to consolidate it into one document.
I'm sorry if I missed this. What is our time frame for all the trustees to submit? Is that also before that January?
It's 2 weeks, within 2 weeks after the January meeting. So what'll happen is you'll officially have the information, then you got 2 weeks to evaluate it and turn everything into whoever, if it's me or whoever the chair is.
So just to understand, we get Catherine's document by the end of the year, and we deliver that document to the trustees and gather the trustees' input and their evaluations for the February meeting.
Correct. They have 2 weeks after the January meeting to submit it. And generally, people don't do it or do it on time, so you got to bug people. But would ask everybody to get it in within 2 weeks. And and then after that,
so personnel needs a meeting to review Catherine's evaluation. Correct. Prior to the January meeting where we distribute it, and then another personnel meeting after the January meeting to handle all the trustees' evaluations and come up with a report presentation for the February meeting.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so
do we want to look at dates now?
No, because I think that's just personnel. Personnel has to find two meetings. There's two personnel meetings and 2 regularly scheduled trustee meetings.
Right.
Yeah.
So if we have the January meeting is January 26th, and if we have 2 weeks from then, that gives us till February 9th. And the way it works on the schedule, the February trustees meeting is February 16th, which is just 1 week later. So yeah, I think that's earlier because of the February vacation, but I'm just noting that for the personnel committee, that's just like a 1 week turnaround. So
yeah, I'm not sure anything has to be done for the February meeting.
Okay.
Well, I thought we have to compile all of the trustees' reports from the January meeting after they review Catherine's personal evaluation for the February meeting.
I think we could do that like as soon as the next day. I mean, it doesn't have to be.
So yeah, the way it happened before was that 2 weeks after you got the evaluations to fill, you had 2 weeks to fill out the evaluations.
After we review yours.
And everybody, and they'll have my text. You give them the form with my text, my goals. And then you have 2 weeks to do the evaluation. And then the committee will assemble it all together in a single document. So I think the goal is that by March, it can be presented publicly as a formal final evaluation.
Yeah. The procedure says March is when we would discuss it, the final version, at our trip. So I agree. Yeah. There's nothing we have to do collectively as a board for the February meeting. We have the 2 week window after the January meeting to sort of get our ducks in a row. But I think it's not until March that we'd all come back on it. The personnel committee will have to be dealing with stuff behind the scenes, but the board as a whole won't reevaluate until March.
Yeah, that's correct. Okay.
Thank you. That's helpful.
And Catherine, is this every 2 or 3 years? You remember?
I have a 3-year contract, and it happens in the second year of the 3-year contract.
Yeah.
So okay. I would say it's every 3 years because I've never done it before.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think it's every 3 years, and I just couldn't remember because I know it's in the contract but I just didn't remember it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So is everybody clear on that process right now?
Yep. Yeah.
All right. So what I'll do is I'll get.
Can I ask a question? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Is there a way to get you share the evaluation documents? They're PDF, and
No, I have them in Word.
Okay, so we can fill in. Oh,
So you can do almost, yeah, you can do almost anything with them. I'll send them to somebody as a Word document, and you can do however you want to do them.
Thank you.
Okay. Yep. And then, like I said, I'll be the point for now, and then when the personnel committee meets, we can figure out who's going to take the lead. All right. All right. Anything else on evaluation? Okay. Excellent. Moving right along, we're in the budget. So everybody received a copy of what I'm assuming is the draft budget, Catherine, but
yes,
it's probably 99% correct, I would think.
Yeah, so the only way it would come back to you is if I haven't sent it to Kevin and Steve yet. So if you're okay with it as it is now, then I'll send it to them for their comments. And if they don't have any comments, then that's what will go to the FinCom, and that's what we'll probably end up with. If they do have comments, we'll cross that bridge when it happens. But there isn't anything here that's, I think I've been listening to all the meetings. Every time Steve speaks about the budget, I listened in, and I think there's lots of things people don't know. What's going to happen with prices rising, what's going to happen with utilities. There's lots of things people don't know, but they do have a pretty good sense that the town is in good financial shape. And he was looking to keep things within 3% and 4%, which the charge he made was contractual increases for personal services, and everything else should be level funded. And I didn't, and he expects to stay within 4%. So I didn't level fund everything because I know I'm going to have increases. I know I'm going to have changes, but I am with the under 4%. And all the changes I will be able to make a case for. So I don't know how much of it you read or if you have specific questions about it, but I put in some extra money for the aging HVAC and the aging security system. The software costs have been moved from, they used to be paid by IT capital, and last year, and that's $1,000 and $2,000. It's not a lot of money. But last year he asked us to put that into our regular budget. So I put that in, and there are also some increases in contracts that we have, certain professional services types of things. And we are using more software, to QuickBooks and human resources software. And so I have all those costs. So that was an increase. And there's an increase at Noble, but it's mainly in library materials. So that counts towards certification. And I only increased the books and publications by $1,000. That's just to say it's something, but it gives us an even $200,000 for books and publications. But the extra that I'm asking for Noble will count toward our materials that helps us with our certification.
What's the increase from Noble?
$4,861.
Okay. And is Noble, I forget, Catherine, how we pay Noble, is that in line with our fiscal year? Is their fiscal year the same?
Yes, it's exactly the same.
Okay.
So the basic system and services are about $900 more than last year, but they're no longer going to host our website. So the money comes out of that and goes into another line. But they're increasing the amount for ebooks, and the cost of databases have increased. So that's pretty much what the increase is.
Okay. And all of, I saw the note on the budget, but I just want to clarify. Sunday, you've included the full, in the personnel costs, you've included a full year of Sunday hours, correct?
That's 38 Sundays, yes.
Okay. And obviously the contractual increases also are included in that budget. Okay.
Oh,
with the new found issues with the HVAC system, do you think that your increase will be enough to cover any maybe unforeseen repairs? I know that's kind of a catch-22 question.
Yeah, but I sort of hope so. Yeah, I increased it by $4,500. It seems like if it's more than that, it's not a repair anymore. It's a bigger problem.
So the 4,500 number, that's kind of is that like a gut estimate, or is that based on historical costs with some kind of increase? Or?
It's based on, I talked with Dave about it, and it's based on possible anticipated costs, like what could go wrong and what could it cost. So the whole, let's see, the elevator, where's HVAC? Okay, so that entire line is, it was $9,000. Now it's $14,000. And the increase, so I've doubled what we paid for mechanical repairs. And we're thinking that will probably do it. Unless there's something, you know, that I wouldn't get that in a budget anyway. I mean, I don't think.
Sure. You can point to your spend rate this year already. As we were talking about before. The IT costs going up 50%. I know it's only quote unquote 10 grand, but it's kind of a tough look. Only $2,000 of that is for Noble.
Which one?
I'm sorry, only $2,000 of that is for the not Noble, the change in how we're accounting for IT costs.
Yes.
So the other 8,000 is just Microsoft licenses, or?
Yeah, it's Microsoft licenses, and I had a whole list of the costs of them, because we've been looking at that. It would be website hosting. There were several new things. RFID costs are different. There are some things that did not increase that were, and they don't really show up here. It just means, oh, look, you level funded. But there were places that I level funded and was able to level fund there because there were increases in professional services, which tends to be software. So it was RFID. I could find a whole list of it and send it to you. I did divide it by the things that are administrative, IT, things that go to patron services, like things like communication, the newsletters that we use, the software that we use to create flyers and things like that. It also includes some software that patrons will use. And in that case, those items also go toward our certification numbers, that's part of, you know, if a patron uses it, that helps with the certification numbers. So I think some of that software too is in the new digital media lab.
It's not a 50% increase on your actual spend. It's because your actual spend for this year is already 24,000, right? I think in professional services.
That's what we spent last year.
So it's just that we're catching the budget up to where the actual spend has been for the last couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kath, I know there's a couple of other deferred capital projects that I know have been on the list and keep getting rolled over every year. Is any of that, I know we just talked about the HVAC system. If any of that gets funded, does any of that maintenance costs go down, or you know, I don't know if the rug is really a maintenance cost as much as it's a pain in the butt at this point, but
no, unless we go through the building and we find something that I don't know anything about right now. So say we go through the building and we see that there are things that are capital projects for HVAC. You know, in prior years, we replaced all the valves throughout the building, and that was over a couple of years, you know, $25,000. And that probably saved us all kinds of money from other problems that were happening because those valves didn't work. So unless there's something like that turns up in the next couple of months, what I see as capital projects right now are carpet and roofing and masonry, which don't really, I'm not thinking that those affect anything in the operating budget really.
Until the roof fails.
Until they fail.
Yeah.
Until they fail. And then, yeah, that would be
not a problem until it is.
Yeah, that would be a total disaster. But the regular operating expenses, I don't think that they'll necessarily affect. Although the roofing, who knows, that might affect things that have to do with the utilities or something. That could probably help, that might be able to help. The buildings were inspected for energy savings. I didn't get a report on it. I don't know who gets that report, so I'm going to have to try to track it down. But I'm curious to see if there's anything that we can do there to help with the utility costs.
Yeah, just thinking in terms of if there is COVID related money available for HVAC, to make the argument that, you know, that HVAC maintenance number can come back down if there's a little bit of investment from that end. So, I mean, hopefully they just fund the budget as you request and we don't have to do any trading or anything, but.
No, and if they see it a different way, I'm certainly willing to listen to it, and they're always willing to listen to me. So, you know, they just want to know, and then the town council will want to hear the same thing. So it's just a matter of making the case that it's the best use of the funds.
Okay, folks. Well, we do have to take a vote on this budget, so Catherine can submit it and then stay on schedule with the dates of when you present at the town meeting. But you haven't sent this to Steve yet, you said, right?
No.
Okay. So not even for review, just you haven't done anything yet, right?
Right.
Okay. So what we have to do is somebody's got to make a motion to approve the budget as a draft, because this budget is still a draft, although it's close. It might get modified slightly. So somebody want to make that motion?
I'll make that to approve the, that's a draft.
Yeah, so you want to just word the motion?
I make the motion that we approve this budget as presented as a draft budget for fiscal year 23.
I'll second.
Okay, was that you, Paul?
Yes, sir.
I don't know who seconded. I'm sorry.
That's me, sir.
Okay. All right, so we have to have a vote. Okay, Paul?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Laura?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Amy?
Aye.
And Adam? And I'm an aye also. Okay, so it passes. So the next step on this, Catherine, what is the action?
I'll email it to Kevin and Steve and ask for their comments. And if they have comments, I'll give those to you for the next meeting.
Okay. And then when do you have to present? I forget the dates. Just go over
February 14th.
February. Okay.
Yeah, it's the week of the 14th. There'd be two presentations. The 14th is town council and the 17th is the finance committee.
Okay. Will you also send a copy to our liaison?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, folks, if there's nothing else on the agenda unless somebody's got something. All right. Yeah, Laura?
We skipped over budget, building and grounds.
Oh,
I'm gonna make a
did.
note. Yeah.
You know what? I can give you an update on one thing. On Monday, I'm going to meet with Catherine and Dave to review the capital budget and review the capital as it sits now. But we're going to, Catherine and I talked about it. I'm going to just take a fresh look at the budget, considering that what we've asked for before, we might want to make some adjustments based on some of the stuff that's been happening in the building. And it's a good time to kind of look at it. What's been going on with the capital budget is that things get on the budget and then they don't get funded and they roll into the next year, and not a lot of new stuff gets out there. And I think this is a time to take a look at some stuff that we haven't really looked at based on the age of the building. So that is the update for buildings and grounds. And we're going to do that Monday morning at 10, right, Catherine?
Yes, and Jeff can join us too.
Yeah.
Jeff is going to be able to.
Oh, good. You can make it, Jeff?
Yep, I'll be there.
Okay, great. So we're going to do a walk around the building. I'm going to pick Dave Mason's head, kind of refresh my memory on all the stuff that's been done and various things we've done. And then capital budget although it may not be for this year's request, I think it's a good, we should get some things on the 5-year budget. So that stuff is out there. We really haven't done that before because in general, the building has been okay, but there's some major building components we got to take a look at: the heating system, the roof, other mechanicals, some of the masonry. We've been pretty good on the masonry, but we're going to take a fresh look at it.
Yeah, the whole plaza is starting to not look good now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole plaza needs to, at the minimum, be repointed.
Well, we got to stop having all that jazz on the plaza.
Well, maybe we could, if we didn't have to use salt.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we could just make
some radiant heating underneath.
Yeah, radiant heating would be really nice. That would be nice.
Hey, I like that idea. Who said that? Amy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
what about the sign out front? Was that part of buildings and grounds? Where are we with?
Well, we are handling it, but out of separate. We're going to handle it out of separate funding, so it won't appear on the capital. And right. I made a promise at the last meeting that we hope to have it all resolved and in place before Blossoms. Right, Chris?
Why not?
It's a good goal. I need a goal. I need a deadline.
Goals and deadlines are good things.
I'm retired. I work better when I have deadlines.
All right.
We're gonna stay on top of you for that then.
Pardon me?
We're gonna stay on top of you for that for Blossoms.
Thank you. I'll appreciate the nudge till it becomes nagging.
I've heard that somewhere before.
Well,
Okay.
once we make decisions, though, you know, I can do the legwork.
Yeah, I know.
It's just a matter of, and everything takes longer than you think it's going to take too. So.
Oh yeah,
it does.
Yeah.
All right. So did you want to know anything else that I did skip over it by accident?
Yeah, I just wanted to account for it in the notes. So thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only thing new. Okay. Well, if there's nothing else, folks, I sound like a broken record, but it doesn't, the way things are going, to me, it doesn't appear that we're going to be meeting in person anytime soon, which is discouraging. But it's the way of the world right now. So unfortunately, it seems like things are regressing a little bit, and I don't see us meeting in person, at least for the next meeting. So unfortunately, and you haven't heard anything new about that, Catherine, right?
No, I'm going to ask about it though. See what the plan is for next year.
Okay. So other than that, I wish everybody happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. And I hope you all enjoy it, and your families also. And healthy. Stay healthy.
Yeah.
I hope everybody's got their vaccines and their booster shots and everything else. So hopefully. All right. But stay healthy and Merry Christmas. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, second.
Seconded.
All right, Chris, all in favor?
Yes.
Paul?
Us.
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Laura?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Amy?
Aye.
Adam?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Okay. Good night, folks.